Good evening. Okay, so I thought that I would just pop on tonight and talk about pain, and how we've got a little giveaway as well going on. So if you share this video while we're live, then you'll be entered into the giveaway. So if you suffer with any form of pain and you share this video, then you will be in with a chance of free samples, a couple of free samples coming your way. So get sharing and pop a comment below saying share if you've shared the video, so that I know to pop you into the draw. And basically, if you live with pain or have lived with pain, I'm going to give you a couple of remedies that could possibly help. I'm not saying they're going to cure, but they could possibly help. They've certainly helped me. And then also we're going to do the giveaway as well. So pop a 1 below if you're watching live and a 2 below if you're watching on replay. Now, there are so many people that live in pain every single day. I was like it for a really long time, and it's very common as well for people to turn straight to prescription medication or over-the-counter remedies if they're suffering with pain in any way, shape or form. So I have actually started using, and to be honest, I know that there is a place for medication. I'm not saying that everyone needs to go and stop doing what they're doing and taking what they're taking. But I have started to use alternatives instead of going straight for medicine. I've always been a bit like this. I always refuse to take paracetamol even unless I absolutely have to. And I don't really like putting things in my body which I don't know what they are. I think it's a bit of I'm very scared of getting addicted to stuff like that. So that is my personal reason why I prefer to use different things if possible that are a lot more natural. So I'm not saying that everyone should ditch their medication, start using alternative medicines, but they can certainly start to be used alongside if that's a route that you want to go down. But if you do start to use anything like essential oils, then you just definitely want to make sure that you check with your doctor or pharmacist that if you are on any medication that it's not going to interfere with that. So basically, essential oils can be used in lots of different ways, but they penetrate the cells really quickly, which means that it can provide like almost instant relief. And again, not making any claims, but it can provide really quick benefits to lots of different areas in the body, and in this particular case, inflamed joints, and muscles, anywhere in the body that you've got a problem. Depending on what oil you use, how you apply it, how you use it, can affect you in different ways. So chronic pain can be really debilitating and very frustrating, and I know from first-hand basis that can also impact our lives massively. And everyone is different, so there are a lot of different things that you can try, a lot of different things that you can use, and obviously there's a lot of different types of pain as well. But I'll just tell you very briefly about my back pain. I think it actually started when I had an epidural with Casey, so that would have been about 17 years ago, and it was noticeable like over the years, but it was never really to the point that it stopped me from doing anything until after I had George. So obviously the fact that I carried 4 babies, both the boys were large babies. George was £10, Callum was £9.4, and then the girls were a bit smaller, but I'd still carried 4 babies. By the time I got to my pregnancy with George, he literally broke me. That is the only way to describe it. And following that pregnancy and during as well, to be honest, I literally, doing the school run with all 4 of them, I struggled to get in and out the car on a daily basis. Just that effort of getting in and out the car, and the frustration that I felt of not being able to do things normally, as I would say, frustration, just things like cleaning and cooking and being on my feet for any period of time would cause me to be literally doubled over. with back pain and have to literally lay all evening to try and recover. And the same when I was working in the salon, to be honest, that just made everything 10 times worse, especially when I was, you know, bending over doing nails and pedicures and things like that. I would find, you know, most days that I'd been in there that I couldn't move when I got home. You know, frustration as, you know, not being able to go shopping, you know, because we all like a bit of shopping. I would end up in so much pain just from a few hours. I'd, you know, constantly be having to sit down. And I went back to the doctors a few times, and they just fob you off, don't they? If you've got pain, very, very often, they're just like, no. They said, no, you know, it's down to sciatica, whatever. And I knew that it wasn't. So I actually went and got a second opinion, a private opinion, and he sent me for an MRI scan, and they then discovered that obviously there was a reason that I was in so much pain. 2 of my discs in my lower back have completely degenerated. I can't even say it. They're degenerate. I can't even say it. I'm not even going to try. Degenerated. That's the word. So they have basically, as we get older, your discs degenerate anyway. They're just basically aging and they start to wear away. But 2 of my discs in the bottom of my back have worn away a lot quicker than someone should have done in my age, basically. So those 2 discs need replacing. And I got to the point that I was in so much pain, and I really, the operation was not an option for me. It's very, very dangerous. They'd have to go in through my back. And because they'd have to go in through my back, they'd have to go through the muscles, which then is probably going to leave like more scar tissue, which means that I probably would still be in pain even if I had that operation. And he said he couldn't do the operation anyway because I need to lose like 3 stone to have the operation. But it's also very dangerous because if they hit, you know, some of the smaller blood vessels, then that's not too much of a concern, was his words. But if I hit the, you know, that big one there, and he was showing me the scan picture, he said then that's it. Like I don't stand a chance. So that put the fear of God into me, and I was like, there is no way on earth I am having that operation unless I absolutely have to. So that's when I ended up having some facet joint injections and an epidural and facet joint injections into my back, which was 2.5 years ago now, and that worked for about a year. And then after that, the pain started to return. And I actually, I take nutrition, and one of those is for to help with anti-inflammatory within the body, and I am sure that makes a difference, because the pain has really subsided since I've been, you know, changing my diet and taking good nutrition. So I think that is really important, but I do still get bouts of pain. If I've been on my feet for a long time, I did a one-off pedicure the other day, and I was literally in agony for about 5 hours. So, you know, I still do get bouts of, I do still get bouts of pain. So there are times that I do need some pain relief. And when we were at Centre Parks, I'm going to tell you a little bit about CBD oil in a minute. I'd heard about CBD oil, but I was like, I'm like the biggest skeptic out there. For anyone to convince me to use anything, like, you have to be a genius, or I have to like literally love the product, because I don't just use anything. I really like to know what I'm using and especially if it's internal, and especially if it involves my face. Like, I like to know exactly what I'm using. So I'd heard about CBD oil, not really like looked into it a huge amount. I've got some bits here that I want to just go through in a minute. So and I'll tell you a bit about CBD oil, and then I'll tell you a little bit about like what happened when I used what else I'm going to talk about. So a lot of people may have heard about CBD oil, and basically there are a lot of benefits to that oil, but it's quite often illegal, and it will give you a therapeutic benefit, or it can, because obviously I'm not talking specifics because there's a lot of different brands out there, but there is a lot of specifics, different brands out there, so there's a lot of different ingredients, different sort of makeups of it. There's going to be lots of different versions. So CBD oil can and generally does give people, if it's got the right ingredients in it, the therapeutic benefit that they're looking for, and that can be pain, inflammation. Again, I'm not making any claims. I don't sell CBD oil. So there are a lot of benefits to CBD oil that do help people, but the problems with it is it is quite often illegal, and the reason for that is because it has something in it called THC. So basically CBD oil, a lot of you will like cannabis, okay? So a lot of people that may be going through or have had like serious illness, I know people that have used cannabis for pain relief and all different things, mainly pain relief, and it works in two ways. I'm not going to get really, really scientific with you, but basically there's two receptors. There's CB1 and CB2, and these are the two things that it works on. So CB1 is basically the way in which cannabis works here is that is the THC, and that is mainly affects the brain and what gives you the high, basically. And CB2 is the receptor that helps with the inflammation and the pain and all those therapeutic benefits that you hear about, okay? And the cannabis components are mainly THC and CBD. So CBD is the one that affects the inflammation, like the therapeutic benefits, and THC is the one that gives you that high, okay, or that effect of the high. So that's why CBD oil is really quite popular with things like pain and anxieties, neurological. I'm not making any claims. I just know that what a lot of people research CBD oil for, and cannabis and things like that. But what you want is you want the effects of the therapeutic benefits without the THC, and that is what basically our Copaiba has in it. And so Copaiba has something called BCP in it, and that basically intercepts with the CB2 receptors like the CBD oil does, or the CBD part of the CBD oil, without the highs. So it's got BCP in it rather than the THC, but it interacts in the correct way with just the part that you want it to interact with, if that makes sense. So basically, Copaiba oil gives you the benefits, the therapeutic benefits, but without the high. Okay, so the issues with the CBD oil is that in many places it's not illegal. Even if you find it and it is legal, the quality, the consistency, the potency is going to vary very, very widely, and you are very rarely going to actually know what you're getting with a CBD oil. So I would say that if you are using any, and I'm not here, I'm not slating any CBD oils. I don't know enough about the different companies and the different ones available, but I would just say really, really do your research. If you're using one, make sure that it's safe, make sure that it's it's legal. It's not going to give you the highs unless you want them, obviously, but if you're looking for it at a therapeutic benefit, then there are alternatives. And when we were at Center Parcs in July, I got a free bottle of our Copaiba oil the month before, and everyone was raving about it. We are limited to one bottle. We were limited, I don't know if we still are actually. We were limited to one bottle per account because it's in such high demand. And it's such, the oil is so pure that, they have to limit how many we can purchase. So it had been sat in my basket for ages, and I actually took it away with me. And do you know what? I've actually left. I've left the two things that I'm talking about. Left them inside. What a plonker. Okay, so this is just a little sample of it. Okay, so it's just an essential oil. So I combined that with this deep blue rub that comes in a big tube, and I keep it in my handbag because we've been doing a lot of walking, and I was also sleeping in a different bed, which again really affects my back. So I was in quite a bit of pain one particular day, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to try something, and I put on the deep blue rub, and I put 2 drops of the copaiba oil in my hand, put the deep blue rub in my hand, and I put it on my back. And I'm not making any claims here, I'm just telling you from a personal point of view, all I felt was, I felt the deep blue is quite strange, but it's really lovely. It's like a cooling and a heat sensation all at the same time. But I just felt relief within about 5 minutes. The only way I can describe it with my back pain was it was numb. It was like I'd had an epidural, but it was isolated to that part of my back. It was absolutely incredible, and it actually lasted pretty much all day. And I was like a completely different person. Like I was, we walked so many. I'd had my Fitbit on. I can't remember how many I did, but did so many steps that day, and literally, I was not struggling at all to do that, which normally I would have been. And that was it then for me. I was completely convinced. So that's when I started looking into the copaiba oil a little bit more. And it's not something I've massively talked about. I have had a lot of inquiries when I talked about it a few months ago, but I actually haven't, it's not something I've really focused on. I need to go back and speak to people that sort of, inquired about a sample. But our copaiba is so special because it basically has those therapeutic grade effects, but it doesn't have the THC in at all. So it's not illegal, and it's not going to give you, those highs. But it has 2 to 3 times more BCP than a lot of other products as well. So ours actually has 55% BCP in it. And there's lots of different ways that it can be used as well. So it can be used to aid immune support system, cardio support, endocrine support, digestive, neuro, respiratory. It's a really, really powerful antioxidant. So you guys will know how passionate I am if you've watched any of my lives before about antioxidants and what they do to our body if we don't have enough of them. So it's a really, really powerful antioxidant. It's also an anti-inflammatory, so it's really good for the skin. So if you have blemishes, it's really good for that. It's really good to reduce the appearance of lines and wrinkles. And there's lots of different ways it can be used as well. So it can be used aromatically. So you can either, I quite often, like with an oil, I will literally pop a little drop in my hand and then literally inhale it deeply 3 times. So that's a really good way to use it. It's really quick. It is sort of an instant way to get it into your cells of the body. Or you can use a diffuser if you want it going on a more regular point. You can dilute it in some coconut oil, some fractionated coconut oil, which doesn't clog the pores, and then you can put it on the area of pain specifically. I actually used it in the deep blue, which I really, really liked. My mum said to me that, because she's an aromatherapist, she said that she'd read that you should layer the product, so you should use the copaiba in the coconut oil and then put the deep blue on top, because apparently it's more powerful. But I had such an amazing result when I put a couple of drops in that deep blue that I think, I don't need to change it, because that's that really, really worked for me. So it can be used aromatically, can be used on the skin in coconut oil, and this one can also be taken internally. That's not something I've done yet, and that's not something that I would recommend that you do with just any essential oil in any way, shape or form, or any just CBD oil. You want to really make sure that you're following the instructions of the instructions of whatever you're using. But this particular one can be taken internally. Amazing on the skin, can reduce the appearance of lines and wrinkles, can heal the skin. So it's really good to use on scars Again, I'm not making any claims because everyone's different. Everyone's body is going to react differently. It's an anti-inflammatory, so it's really, really good to help tired or achy muscles by either inhaling or directly on there. So also, obviously, that means that it's really, you know, like a lot of people use it for pain. I certainly have. For boosting immune system, it can be used for cuts and grazes, to prevent infection, to improve mood and hormonal balance. Now, I think I actually probably need to drink that bottle at the moment, if you ask Martin. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so my hormones are all over the shop at the moment. I'm sure I'm going through the early menopause. Yeah, so that apparently really good for hormones as well. It's not something I've used on a regular basis, but I'm going to start diffusing it, definitely. Improve mood. Fungal infections, I read, which was a bit, I haven't tried that yet. But anti-inflammatory, so yeah, can be used on soothing tension and anxiety as well. And also to basically unwind. So either, like, I was out doing the garden a couple of weeks ago and I put a couple of drops in my bath, and I literally led in there for about 45 minutes, and I came out, and I cannot tell you, like, when I get back pain, I don't know, like, I know that obviously there's different types of pain, everyone suffers differently. When I get back pain, it's in my lower back, but it radiates all around my hips and all down my legs, and I cannot tell you how uncomfortable I am when I've got a bout of back pain. And I love the idea of gardening, but then I start and I get really bored, so I just end up getting Mark to help me. We did an afternoon in the garden the other day, just weeding and stuff, and I was like, I've got to go and sit down. So I actually thought, do you know what, I need to just keep jogging my memory that I've got all these amazing, like, plant-based products in our house now. And I put some drops of it in my bath, sat in a warm bath for 45 minutes and it was just incredible. And then I got out and I thought, I'll put some deep blue on and the oil, and do you know what, I didn't even need to do that because I just felt so relaxed. What I've been mixing it with is the deep blue. So this little rub here, I've got a tube of, and this is really, it's a sort of a thick lotion, a thick rub, and it's used widely by sports professionals, massage therapists, or, you know, sports therapists and stuff like that. It's just brilliant for tired and achy muscles and joints. It's a really weird feeling. It's like it burn, like, it doesn't burn, but it's almost like a deep heat mixed with like a cooling sensation. It's really weird, but it's like, I put it on and it's like my brain is like, it's confused, like, is it hot, is it cold, is it hot, is it cold? I can't make my mind up. So yeah, that on its own is just incredible. Like, it is just one of the most amazing products. And it's obviously got essential oils in it because all our products like are based around essential oils. We have so many. We have like 150 products, all with essential oils in, but, you know, from skincare to nutrition to, you know, oils, weight management. But this, like, honestly, is absolutely brilliant. So I actually work with a lot of ladies who are in the taekwondo industry. Is that what they do? I think that's what they do. I'm not very, like, my sport is not, like, high up there. So I work with a lot of ladies that are in the taekwondo industry. I'm just doubting myself, is that what they do now? Anyway, yeah, so, and this has just also got like a sports edification, like, certification thing as well. Can't remember what it's called, something like that. So this is mega popular with that. So it contains peppermint, so that will account for the cooling sensation. You do not want to be putting your fingers in your eyes or anywhere else that you do not want a cooling sensation, if you get my drift. So peppermint, wintergreens, ylang ylang, and helichrysum, can never say that. So yeah, really, really gorgeous rub. So I have got some giveaways. I have got some of these little packs of giveaways. So if you have shared the video, and I know that we get loads of people on replay as well, so what I'll do is I will give it until 10 o'clock tonight, and then whoever has shared and commented shared. So if you shared the video, make sure you comment shared as well, so that I know to put you in the draw. And then I will pick 1, 2, 3. So this is what's in the pack. There's a deep blue sample, and there is a little sample of the copaiba oil as well. Okay, so how many have I got of these? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, a few more than that. Hold on a minute. Right, I've got 7. Okay, so I'll be sending 7 of these out tomorrow. So if you suffer with pain in any way, shape or form, you want one of these little samples, or if you know of anyone that suffers with pain, because you know it really is debilitating and it is frustrating, and obviously I can speak from personal experience as well, and you know there's no guarantees here, there's no, you know, claims or anything like that, but if these little samples can just give somebody a little relief for, you know, a few hours or something, you know, it makes all the difference. So I've got 7 of these samples to give away. So make sure you share the video, pop shared below, and I will give it till 10, and anyone that has shared the video will go into the draw, and I'll get those out in the post to the winners tomorrow, so I'll contact you. Thanks for watching everyone, and I will speak to you soon.